guys, welcome back to episode, we don't know the number of this one, what is it, number?
God knows.
We're in double digits, put it that way.
Double digits, yeah.
Welcome back to number double digits of Beyond the Credits. Today, in this episode, we are going to be talking about recent film news. So we've each picked a few films, we're going to deep dive into a few and talk about how excited we are and give a few deets that we read up on. Okay, so should we start with the Joni biopic?
Yeah,
now,
exciting stuff.
A few weeks ago, wasn't it, that they announced Meryl Streep as Joni Mitchell. Did you actually touch on this in a previous episode? Very lightly. I can't remember if we did because
very lightly. But very lightly. Edited it out.
Oh, she edited it out. Well, we can talk about
that
it now.
That got the cut. Yeah.
They got cut. Now it's Meryl Streep.
I know.
I can't help but be excited about this because, although Joni Mitchell, I don't know about you, but her voice, not only is it so beautiful, but it's so distinct. So you're going to have to do some serious vocal training to get that voice on top.
I've also written that down. I said I'm interested in the singing part because she has such a distinct voice, but I think whatever she does, she's just world class. Like, she's one of the greats for a reason. As soon as she's going to be attached to a film, she's going to bring it.
Yeah, I mean, look at what she did with Maggie Thatcher's accent, the Iron Lady. How on earth? That woman is just like, yeah, I'm just almost certain that I am certain that she's going to be incredible in it. We do not know who is going to play the younger Joni yet, but there are rumours of Anya Taylor-Joy, which I do think, I'll be interested actually.
Yeah.
It comes down to the case of, because Joni Mitchell songs are so hard to sing because it's almost like they're so lyrically dense that it's almost like she's reading from a diary and she's got different sort of sonic elements to each different part of a song. So I'm really intrigued to see how they tackle
She
that.
goes everywhere with the melody, doesn't she? There's no set melody in any of her songs, really. Like, in terms of the verses, like, she's all over the place because she's got such a voice with a massive range. So.
Yeah, I know, and it just that voice fits so immensely well with a lot of the way in which she writes songs because they are literally, it's like she's reading from a diary entry. It's just, she's so clever.
Yeah, it's interesting because her voice has changed so much over the years. Like, if you listen to her old stuff, like Case of You, California, Big Yellow Taxi, her voice is so distinct. But then if you listen to her older stuff, like Both Sides Now, there's such a contrast in her voice. So I do think Meryl Streep's lower register is really good. And so I think in terms of the range of that casting, I do think she has got it. She'll get that down because her lower register is great.
See, yeah, well, I do, my favourite, that Blue album is literally something else. But Woodstock, I'm so intrigued to see how Anya Taylor-Joy, if she is going to be Joni Mitchell, I'm so intrigued to see how she'd sing that.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I'm really excited for this. It's in pre-production now. It's not, I believe that the likelihood that it's going to be released next year is even quite unlikely. So I think we're looking at 2028 for this one.
Do you think, yeah.
And then we've also got Cameron Crowe directing this. Now, Cameron Crowe, Jerry Maguire, Almost Famous, Vanilla Sky. Have you seen Vanilla Sky?
No, I've never seen Vanilla Sky.
Vanilla Sky is such... not Tom Hanks. I believe Tom Cruise has on record said that he is adamant that this is the best film he's ever done. Obviously, he's worked with him on Jerry Maguire, which is one of my favourite films ever. Not in my letterbox top 4, but it's in my top 10. I love that film so much. I think Cameron Crowe is such a brilliant director. I love his work. I'm really intrigued to see how he would tackle this and how he would... explore Joni Mitchell's life. I think he's a great person to do it, given his catalogue. Vanilla Sky is a great film. If you haven't seen it, go and watch it. It's very weird, a bit distorting, but I do really, really like his stuff. I'm excited to see his take on it. And apparently we have heavy involvement from Joni Mitchell. I'm
so glad because she's got such a dense life. Like, she's lived so many lives and she's like, oh my God. I think this is going to be a really interesting, very plot-heavy, dense storyline of the film.
And we don't know if it's going to cover her whole life or a specific element of her life. Personally, I don't think Cradle to Grave biopics, unless it's like we were talking about Testament of Anne Lee in our last episode, and that is a biopic in essence, but this woman is not, she's not a contemporary figure. She's not known within this, current climate very well. So that kind of, the fact that we had a Cradle to Grave story with her really worked well for that film. And I do think with certain films and certain biopics it can, especially when it's a figure that we have known little to nothing about. However, when it's a modern day figure, I do think, and especially someone so iconic like Joni Mitchell, I always prefer when it delves into a specific area of their life. And I don't like these gloss over biopics where it's start there, end fucking down there. That's why I didn't like Bohemian Rhapsody.
Did you not?
No, that's why I didn't like that, and that's why I did like A Complete Unknown, because it was literally, it focused on a single facet of Dylan's move from what acoustic to electric, and it was like,
I think
I don't know.
I mean, obviously, because they're casting a younger version, I do think we're probably gonna get her like rise to fame, and then to where she is. Maybe not now, but maybe.
Yeah, I'd really, if it were me, I'd be really intrigued to see it basically focus on a lot of the personal elements of her life that inspired her music, and perhaps how she deals with those things at a younger age versus when she's older. I just don't know. There's so much that you could delve into with her life, and apparently she's lent a lot of like her actual personal belongings, like her own instruments, her own clothes, she's kept an archive of everything. Apparently it's been long in the making for Cameron Crowe. He's been focusing on this for years, so I'd love to. I'm excited for it, you know.
Yeah, I'm excited. The next bit of news is the recent casting of Christian Bale in Heat 2 alongside Leonardo DiCaprio, who has also been confirmed, and he is actually playing the younger version of Val Kilmer's character. According to IMDb, this is there's very little information. There's a lot of rumoured casting. We kind of assume that with the news coming of his casting, and obviously the already confirmed Leonardo DiCaprio role, we kind of assume that Christian Bale will be playing Vincent Hanna, who was Al Pacino's character. It's going to be directed by Michael Mann again. And it's interesting because the film is going to serve as a prequel and a sequel.
I know, I'm excited about that.
So you kind of assume Al Pacino's still alive. Will he make a cameo? We assume so.
I hope he does.
We assume so. And will we see Robert De Niro return? Probably. There's rumours of Austin Butler being cast.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
Adam Driver, who obviously we've seen him work with Ferrari, and also Bradley Cooper, but nothing confirmed as of yet. They're just rumoured. So yeah, the only people that have been confirmed are Christian Bale and Leonardo DiCaprio. But I'm excited.
So cool.
But the only thing I have with this is, it's a prequel and a sequel, but if Christian Bale and Leonardo DiCaprio are playing younger versions of Al Pacino's character and Val Kilmer's character, aren't they the same age as they were when they filmed it in the first one?
I think they might be a bit younger.
By about 3 years?
Well, when was it made? 90... it was mid-90s, I believe. Or was it 96 or something?
So 1995.
Okay, so you're near enough around that age. However, I think they can pass maybe for about 10 years younger. I don't know though.
Yeah, I suppose.
Depends how they do it. Like, could have cast a younger actor, I imagine. But then again, it does also depend how far. Because I haven't read the book, because he wrote Heat 2 as a novel, and he actually was like quoted saying that I don't really know how to write novels as such, but I just knew I wanted I wanted to delve into this world more, and that was naturally just the way it came about. He wrote it with Meg Gardner, I think.
Yeah,
she one of his producing partners or something. I don't know. But he wrote it like in 2022, and now it's formed the blueprint for the film. So it's if you read the book, you can know what's going to happen, and it'll be really interesting to see. We'd never see this a novelist go for it, like make his film. Obviously, he's a film director and a writer first and foremost, but he's written this, and he's going to be the one to adapt his own work. Like, that's so cool.
Yeah, that is cool. But yeah, I'm excited, and I'm intrigued to see the further casting of this film.
I am too. Yeah, I know. I imagine it's going to give like big ensemble vibes.
Yeah, definitely.
So it'd be really cool to watch. But yeah, I'm excited for that. Now this one, I'm very, very, very excited for. This is the Audrey Hepburn biopic. We've got another biopic. Here's me being a pessimist about biopics, but these are the ones that I'm talking about. Just like pick a lane.
I think this is a good take on a biopic, though.
This leans into what I was saying before about focusing on a specific part of that person's life. And I do think you have much more of a chance of doing them justice when you focus on like a sole part of their life or their career. This Audrey Hepburn biopic is going to focus on the making of Breakfast at Tiffany's. And I don't know if you're the same, I don't have a concrete idea. I don't really know a lot about the context of how that film was produced and how it was made and any like troubles on set. But I'm really, really, really intrigued to see it focus on the trials and tribulations of getting that particular film made. And
it's all about like the development, pre-production, the actual production, then post-production of it, isn't it? It looked messy.
It sounds messy. It does sound messy. Well, who have we got as Audrey Hepburn? We've got Lily Collins. Now, looks-wise, I don't think you can go wrong.
No.
If we're looking at that,
her
brilliant.
and Rooney Mara up there.
Well, Rooney Mara was supposed to be in the Luca Guadagnino. Yeah. She was linked to Luca Guadagnino's.
In 2023, it got shelved, didn't it?
It did get shelved. So yeah, no, that is she was attached to that version of it. That obviously has been shelved, and now we've got this one here. Lily Collins, I'm getting the vibe that Lily Collins has had a bit of a hand in the production of this, because this is a quote from Lily Collins here. This is what she says. She says, it's with almost 10 years of development and a lifetime of admiration and adoration for Audrey that I am finally able to share this, she wrote. Honoured and ecstatic doesn't begin to express how I feel. Now, that is coming from someone who's really probably had a hand, I imagine, in the production of it. I don't know if she's produced things before, but
no, I don't know either.
This does sound as if she's kind of gone hell to leather with this. I'm really, really, really excited.
It's an adaptation of the book, isn't it? Fifth Avenue.
Yeah, so Fifth Avenue, the dawn of the modern. Yeah, the dawn of the modern woman. It's an adaptation of that, and I had no idea that Breakfast at Tiffany's. I mean, I've just beheld the film in complete adoration since I watched it. So I've never really delved into the context around it. But it is based on a Truman Capote novel. Have you seen the film Capote?
No.
If you watch that, because Philip Seymour Hoffman, watch it for his performance. It is so good. It's honestly such an amazing watch. I absolutely loved it. It's one of his, if not his best performance. When you watch it, when I realised this, I was like, he wrote the novel that inspired that. Like, but whether it just focuses specifically on the novel, because the biopic does focus on specifically the novel that he wrote surrounding a murder, and kind of how that inspired his writing. But this one, the film is a loose adaptation of that book, because in the book, it's set in the 60s, and it's a gay narrator, and they turn him in the film into the straight man who falls in love with Holly Golightly. So it's like, so they've changed it up a bit, but apparently he said that it was the most miscast film he'd ever seen, in Audrey Hepburn playing.
Interesting.
Yeah, so I'm really intrigued to see, one, who plays Capote, and two, how that dynamic is going to play out. But no, I'm really excited for this. Have you got the name of who's directing it? Or is there no director attached to it?
I don't think there's a director attached to it as of yet. I didn't see a name.
I didn't see a name.
At the time of doing this, I don't think there's a director attached. It's just Lily Collins announced as Audrey Hepburn.
Yeah.
I'm intrigued.
I wonder who's financing or producing. I'm like, what company's going?
Does she have her own? Oh no, she hasn't produced.
Know,
I assume that she doesn't have her own production company.
But yeah, we've basically just had the news that she's going to be Audrey Hepburn. I think it's gonna. I really hope she pulls it off.
Yeah,
I really hope she does.
I think she will.
She's got
no qualms as of yet. She's got the look.
She has got the look. I don't think she's got the. She could really tap into that demeanour quite well, and I think if this has been a passion project of hers for years, then
you
clearly
hope that
she's probably been practicing.
Yeah,
so we don't know.
That's true.
But she's beat Ariana Grande to the post.
She has.
There was rumours of her being Audrey Hepburn, which I would have really liked to have seen. Yeah. I really would have, to be fair.
I would have really liked to see the Rooney Mara take, because I think Rooney Mara is such a brilliant actress. Not that Lily Collins isn't a brilliant actress, but I think Rooney Mara is probably. I think I say that just because I've seen her in more things that are similar.
Yeah, I agree.
An adaptation.
I do think she's a really strong actress there.
Yeah,
I do think. I think especially with women at this time and actresses of this time, the biopics that have been done, perhaps of Marilyn Monroe, I thought was just so trashy and disrespectful, and I just hope it puts a bit of
grace and decorum.
Yeah, grace and decorum. I think it leans into the also taps into who she was as a human being, but also just reminds us of how just puts a bit of respect on her name.
Yeah,
because she's Audrey,
so
and I'm really excited to see it. So yeah, that's the Audrey biopic.
On the same string of biopics,
we've got another biopic.
We've got two. Tom Hanks to play Abraham Lincoln, and Austin Butler to play Lance Armstrong. Now, Tom Hanks playing Abraham Lincoln, we don't know too much about this, but it is the adaptation of the book Lincoln in the Bardo. Duke Johnson is set to direct, and he directed Best Picture nominee Anna Melissa. Have you seen that? No. This film, again, going back to your opinion of biopics, it's going to centre on his relationship at the time in his life with his son, when his son died at 11 years old.
Aww.
So I assume it's kind of going to cover that section. Well, it is going to cover that section of his life. How far ahead they go, how far before they go, we don't know. But I think the fact that they've released that information is probably going to be similar to like Bob Dylan, Bruce Springsteen, where they just focus, kind of hone in on that part of his life.
Which is what I like.
Which is, exactly. It kind of gives more. I think it just gives more detail. It's like going to be a well done biopic. Yeah. Tom Hanks, again, one of the greats. You're going to get a great performance from him.
Him and Daniel Day-Lewis as well. Like, he is smashing. Like, come on, these two Titan actors playing Abraham Lincoln.
And then Austin Butler playing Lance Armstrong. It's an Apple produced film, so obviously we've seen then produced recently like F1. And Edward Berger is directing, who we know from All Quiet on the Western Front, which is one of my personal faves from him. Armstrong has actually signed off the life rights for this film, which is interesting, because whenever like the actual person's involved and they're alive, I always find that good, because we're going to kind of get like the definite account of that. He's never anything that's been done on his life previously, he's never signed off. I think one of the producers has like kind of been in discussions with him for quite a while now, so I think the fact that he's actually managed to get him to sign off on this is interesting. He's one of those people, you know the names,
you do,
but you don't know like the ins and outs of his life, so it is interesting that he is directly involved. So yeah, I'm excited for those two.
The next one I'm going to talk about is Three Incestuous Sisters. Now, this is based on the novel of the same title. I've never read it, but I'm particularly excited because of what I've read about the book and what the plot is, and also who's cast. So first of all, we'll go through the cast. So we've got Dakota Johnson, Jessie Buckley, Josh O'Connor, and Saoirse Ronan. You've got 4 very big names there, and they're all in their own right. They're all great. I think they'll probably, not to be a bitch, but the weakest one out of this lot, just because I've never really felt particularly captivated or enthralled by anything she's done in any of her performances. Dakota Johnson, I'm sorry. I think she's hilarious as a person, but as an actress, she's not my favourite. And I think potentially being with the likes of Jessie Buckley and Saoirse Ronan and Josh O'Connor, maybe, and especially with the material, maybe she'll rise to the forefront. We don't know. But that's just my opinion on that. But I don't know. It's a very stacked cast. I can't pronounce the director's surname for the life of me. Alice Rawasher. That might be wrong. I can't pronounce it.
What's she done before? Do we know?
La Crimea.
Oh, okay.
And she's an Italian director. She's got a sort of elements of sort of mystical, magical, like realism in her work. Quite poetic in terms of her storytelling. What else has she done? She's done Happy as Lazaro. She's done a lot of she's not done much in the English language, I believe.
Okay.
So I don't know. But what I'm really interested about this is the fact that she's been teasing that it could potentially be a silent film. Because in the book, there's a lot of illustrations in the book, so the story is told through imagery as well as through like the written word.
That would be so interesting.
So could you imagine? Like, I'm really intrigued to see, because she does have quite an experimental sort of nature to her storytelling. It is quite distinct the way in which she's like some of the stuff she's done prior. So I'm intrigued to see how she would do this. I'm really intrigued to see what a silent film would look like in the modern day, because silent films don't, I think ever since they found sound in the late 20s, early 30s, it was like, well, we'd have to tell films solely through through imagery. But I mean, it'll be really interesting to see someone delve into that again, because people don't really do that anymore. And I'm excited for that. The book, and it does sound like particularly fascinating. It's about three incestuous sisters, and about a love match between one particular woman, sister, and I believe it'll probably be Josh O'Connor's character, I'm not too sure, but the upheaval that it causes amongst them. So I'm really excited about that.
I always find it interesting when they'll kind of like cast actors that have acted together before and how it all intertwines. Like Jessie Buckley and Dakota Johnson were both in The Lost Daughter.
Oh shit!
They never shared scenes, but they were in the same film.
Probably one of my favourite films of
Jessie Buckley and Josh O'Connor were in Romeo and Juliet, the play.
Oh yeah.
Who
else was
Has Saoirse Ronan worked with Josh O'Connor? I feel like she has. But I could
No,
be.
but I feel like Paul Mescal's worked with both of them, so I don't know. Maybe that's
that's the through line. Yeah. But no, that is an intriguing one. The next one, Martin Scorsese has touched down in Prague to film his latest film with Leonardo DiCaprio and Jennifer Lawrence. What Happens at Night, it's called. It's described as a gothic psychological horror based off the novel by Peter Cameron, where a married couple, Leonardo DiCaprio and Jennifer Lawrence, travel to a small, snowy European town. Whether Prague is going to act as Prague, we don't know, to adopt a baby, but as they struggle to claim their baby, they seem to know less about themselves, and that is literally all the information we have.
I mean,
further casting has been announced on this.
Cool.
Is it Michael Madsen?
Mikey Madison?
No, Michael Madsen. No, Mads Mikkelsen.
Oh,
have you ever seen Another Round? Mads Mikkelsen in that. Oh my God, you need to watch that. He's brilliant in that film. Mads Mikkelsen, Patricia Clarkson is in it as well, has been announced. Whether that's the full cast, who knows?
Yeah.
There might be more people being announced, but I am excited to see that. It's going to be Martin Scorsese's film,
98th movie.
More recent film since Killers of the Flower Moon, isn't it?
Yeah, I love that.
I'm excited for that one. Damien Chazelle is also
filming
his latest
started his next film, hasn't he, with prison drama,
the prison drama
in Greece, I believe. I think they're filming it in Athens.
It's being filmed in Corfu in Athens. Okay. Plot details are very under wraps for this, but we know that it's a prison set storyline, as Emily said. And Cillian Murphy's starring, Michelle Williams, Daniel Craig.
Oh my god, isn't Owen Cooper in it? Or am I making that up?
No, he's in Tom Ford one.
Yes, he is in Tom Ford. Although Tom Ford just makes a few frocks, and every 10 years he makes a film. I love it.
So real from him. Passion Project King.
I know, yeah. It was only made like 3 films. This will be his 3rd, I believe, aren't it? So yeah, no, that I'm really excited for that Damien Chazelle one. I think, didn't he have an Evel Knievel biopic on the
yeah, he did,
in the works with Leonardo DiCaprio, and then he shelved it. But yeah, no, there's not too much to be reported on with this one. You've got those 3 at the helm of it. I'm really excited to see Cillian Murphy in a Damien Chazelle film.
I know.
Cillian Murphy in anything. I literally could watch him like on CBeebies, and I'd sit there and just behold him in complete adoration.
Yeah, I'm excited to see him and Daniel Craig together.
Yeah. Oh my god,
that'd be
love him.
Love really them both. Interesting one. Yeah.
And yeah, that will be really interesting. I think Damien Chazelle's not made anything since. Oh no, he made First Man, and he's made he made First Man. I saw that. Babylon. Yeah, he's not really. Babylon really pooped at the box office. It really didn't get a lot of love.
And I love Babylon.
I haven't seen it purely because people were slagging it to a T. And now I'm thinking, because I've seen so many people talk about it since, and people like yourself who are putting their head up in the woodworks going, I fucking love Babylon. Like, why did it get so much shit? I need to actually watch it because, yeah, I think I just followed the crowd with that one a bit too much. But no, it did. I think that was a bit of a, obviously, like, he's incredible. Whiplash, La La Land, like, just to name a few, he is so fucking good. So that one probably got a bit too unfairly panned, and with the test of time, it'll people will begin to love it as it should be. But yeah.
There's another film that is creating a lot of like excitement within the industry called Backrooms.
Oh yeah.
And it's the directorial debut by the 20-year-old Kane Parsons. Yeah. The premise is that a therapist ventures into an otherworldly dimension in search of a missing patient. It stars Chiwetel Ejiofor and Renata Reinsve. It's basically based, I mean, as I say, there's a limited
series.
Yeah. He began uploading a video series called Backrooms on YouTube, and then it got picked up by A24, which I just think
that's so cool though.
That is so cool. Like to give him like such a, I mean, props to him. I hope he has a. I mean, I haven't seen film yet, but just the fact that he's 20 years old and he's been picked up by A24.
Yeah, honestly, like I don't even know what it's about. I don't know. I know it's to do with like, is it something to do with therapy?
The trailer's very eerie. Like it goes down and down and down and down through ceilings and floors, floors and ceilings, and it looks like it's very A24-esque.
Yes, it is very very A24-esque.
But I think anything they do nowadays slays.
Yeah. So, well, they made If I Lived to Kick You, and that was great.
Yeah, exactly. So, I don't know if you've seen I Saw the TV Glow.
No.
But that's like eerie vibes. But yeah, I'm really excited to see this, and I just think props to him, and I'm excited to see his future after I've seen this film.
I know. Well, he's got such a ace cast. There's loads of people in it. So and there's a few other supporting people as well. So I'm really excited to see it. And I just feel like that should happen more often in the industry, though. Like,
give the people a chance, yeah.
This person's clearly used whatever resources they've got to make this web series, and it's, you've got a production company and a studio that are seeking out new talent, and they're actually looking further afield, and that it feels like the industry is so gatekept anyway, and you just feel like all of these massive studios and production companies are like really heavily blinkered. And I do think it leans into what happened with Matt Damon and Ben Affleck started a studio, and the person who wrote Air was like this person just sent in the script, I believe. I think that's the case. Okay. And it wasn't a known actor, not a known writer or anything like that, but it managed to land in the lap of Matt Damon and Ben Affleck, and they've obviously financed and produced the film. And I think they edited the idea of it, I believe, maybe not the script as such, but the idea of it came from a complete unknown, and they've gone and produced it, financed it, and they gave him a writing credit on the script because he was like, listen, we were new to the industry once, we were these novices, and this has all started with you, and
such a
just seeking out new talent. And I think this is a slay to A24 for doing that.
It is what you need nowadays, because I mean, should we deep dive? Because I mean, if we go back on all of these films that we've mentioned, every single casting is someone who is mega famous.
Yeah.
And I think...
Or the family member of someone mega famous.
Yeah, and I just think in this day and age, why do we have to cast all famous people in roles? And I do understand they're actors. You know, they've made themselves... They're actors. They're famous for a reason because they've chosen the career of actors. But I miss seeing fresh faces on casting announcements. I feel like all the casting announcements recently... have, for film especially, it's just a rotating cycle. Like, you kind of like, it's almost like, oh, well, these people are relevant at the moment, let's just cast them.
Yeah.
But my argument is, you know, why not take a risk? We've seen it last year with Mikey Madison. Yeah, okay, she played a Manson follower in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, but like, I don't look back on that film and think, oh my God, no. she was memorable. I kind of forgot she was in it, to be honest.
Well, she gets burnt.
Yeah, exactly.
Spends half of it crispy. Like,
but I forget she was in it yet. She went on, she got cast. Yeah, okay, she was kind of known with a few credits under her belt, but not mega known.
No, yeah.
She's not like the Saoirse Ronans of the world. And she went on to win an Oscar. We've seen it with Chase Infinity. Yeah, given she wasn't nominated for an Oscar, but she's absolutely taken this award season by storm. She's like, I'm same with Miles Caton.
Yeah, well, honestly, at the end of the day, who cares whether you get nominated or not? The fact that this is your first credit and it's probably one of the biggest, not just one of the biggest blockbusters of the year, but maybe of the past 10 years.
Exactly.
Like you're pretty much set. Like, the fact that you got cast is probably a bigger reward than anything.
And I do get we need the new names in order to make a profit at the box office. Like, you know, if you see a Paul Mescal film, if you see a film that's starring Paul Mescal and then you've got a film from Tom down the road, it's like, yeah, you know which one you're going to go and see because you know Paul Mescal's body of work, you know how that he's a good actor. It's same with directors as well, but I feel like even like the Joni Mitchell biopic, I would, Tanya, I'm not saying Anya Taylor-Joy would be a bad choice. I think she would be great because she is such a brilliant actress. I've heard her sing. She's got a great voice. But if you've already got Meryl Streep as the older version, 100%. Surely she's already brought in the majority of the viewers. Like, personally, if it was Anya Taylor-Joy and Meryl Streep playing the younger and older version, I'm going for one person, and that person is not Anya Taylor-Joy, it's Meryl Streep. So I would really like to see a bit of new talent cast as that younger version, because surely you've already got that powerhouse that's going to bring the viewers in. You've got Cameron Crowe directing it. He's going to bring the viewers in because he's got a successful body of work. I just think, same with Three Incestuous Sisters, like you touched on before. I love Jessie Buckley. So glad that she's finally getting her flowers. Saoirse Ronan, again, love her. But, you know, there's three roles there that could, and one of them could have been someone's big break.
But do you not find as well when you watch it, like, not that, and this is nothing to do with the performances as such, like, sometimes you think that they're the face and that's the actor, and as well, especially now with press and all the marketing that goes into films. I mean, you know, a bit adjacent to this, but look at Wuthering Heights. They spent more money on marketing it than the actual film itself. Yeah. So these people are everywhere. You know, we are kind of not over-faced with them, and I love actor like interviews and stuff, but you do in this day and age, you can't help but get a bit more of an idea of who they are as a person. Like, celebrities aren't elusive anymore. No. There's no mystique. There's nothing there. Social media's got a part to play in that as well. But obviously the marketing process and the promotion process of films, you see in them as the actor. And I kind of miss watching a film with someone who is in it, who is a complete newbie, and just not thinking, oh, that's them. You're just locked into the character. Yeah. And you might be thinking, oh, that's a new face. They're like really good, but you're not thinking as much about who's playing them. And I do miss that feeling of watching something, knowing that, and it's quite refreshing. Yeah. I think the industry now and the studios, I don't know if this might be more of like a big studio American Hollywood thing, but you hear actors even speaking about this, and I think Paul Mescal's touched on it a few times. They're hiring actors based on how many Instagram followers they have. Did you hear that story of Jacob Elordi?
Yeah,
and this is Neighbours.
He
didn't get cast on Neighbours because he didn't have enough Instagram followers. Like, this
and
is
how
the
many years
problem.
ago was that?
That must have been about 10 odd years ago,
like,
surely.
Who cares about followers 10 odd years ago?
Well, imagine what it's like
wasn't
now.
really a massive thing. Exactly.
So it's probably like that now, but on steroids. So you do have that. You want people who have the name. You look at, even back in the 90s, like, this has always been a thing. Look at Good Will Hunting. You had Ben Affleck and Matt Damon, who were they're fairly new to the industry still. They were still very like fresh to it all, and Miramax picked up the script for Good Will Hunting, and I believe they were hell bent on getting a name for Robin Williams' character. And I mean, listen, he was, this is completely not personal. He was perfect in that role. He's one of my favourite actors. However, they needed a name then. Yeah. They've always needed a name. And it does go back to what you were saying about the Joni Mitchell biopic. You've got the name there. Does everyone have to be a name?
Exactly.
I'm not saying, famous actors that are like Meryl Streep, for example, they're famous for a reason. They're like, so many of them are like, literally give them their flowers, give them every role that they deserve. They are there for a reason. However, let's make room for the new talent. Let's let some newbies in, in front of the camera and behind it. Backrooms, perfect example. This director. You've got Owen Cooper. He's a perfect example. Loads of new talent, and the Beatles biopic's a perfect example of that.
I know.
Could have gone.
It still annoys me that.
Afield. That really annoys me too. They could have, and I do think it comes down to needing the names. But I think with a Beatles biopic, you'd have gone anyway.
And I do get it's a difficult argument, because if you're going to make it as a professional actor, you do make a name for yourself. I do get that. Of course, these people are known because they are actors. But in terms of when you've got such a large cast like in the Beatles, you've already got Anna Sawayas, Yoko Ono. You've already got
Emily Wood,
Mia McKenna-Bruce, Saoirse Ronan. Yeah, some people might argue they don't know Mia McKenna-Bruce. That's why the love interest. I was kind of like, I'm glad that she got in there. Same with Emily Wood. I'm glad. But in terms of the actual Beatles, they've all got names themselves, and I just think you're telling me that you interview people and
if Barry Keoghan's Scouse accent is Saltburn is anything to go by, nah. Listen, they look. But them pictures of Paul Mescal,
of course they do,
unbelievable. They've made him look the image of Paul McCartney. But I do think it's refreshing to see new faces. I don't buy the thing that it's just there's not enough stuff to go around. I think if studios and production companies really sort out all of the stuff that's out there and like utilize social media to look at people promoting their work or people talking about their work, you could easily draw in some more talent in front and behind the camera. I just think the way in which they seek out talent is really constricted and gatekept, and I think there is an element of like laziness to not travel further afield. Like, look at the fact that they scoured these small little independent drama class things for adolescents. They didn't go to drama schools.
They wanted to find a new talent. They wanted to find a raw, young talent. And look at him. He's literally swept the award season. He's literally just finished his sweep, just won the SAG award.
Yeah,
he's swept.
Done a clean sweep. And that was financed by Netflix. So it's not as if these big studios haven't got the time or the budget to actually go out and, wait until they have this, they have the cast that they want. Like, there is ways of doing it. And I just think it's all comes down to, fear of people not going to the cinema as much, needing names perhaps more than ever to get people in the cinema. And there's so many reasons, you can talk about it for ages. Maybe it's because us two are like, we always go into the pictures, we're always watching new stuff, and maybe us two personally are just sick of seeing the same faces. But I personally want to see new faces, and I just love it when someone who's from like an actual normal, someone who's not a nepo, someone who's not been in every single thing that's on Netflix. I love it when they get a look in, and it's really cool. And
in no way we're bashing the people's acting talents, of course.
No, we're not.
But it's just kind of it's refreshing to see newer names and newer faces kind of take on the tougher roles. But we hope you enjoyed. We hope we've made you excited for
all of these films,
the film news, and the upcoming films that are going to be released. When, we have no idea, but it's exciting. It's things to look forward to, isn't it? So,
I know. We always keep our finger on the pulse.
Please comment down below if there's any film news that you've heard that is interesting that we might not have mentioned. But we hope you enjoyed, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye.